All right, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Jim and Robert. Apparently, you guys are the ones that want to make money, which is great. I do too. And a lot goes into these coaching calls. Believe it or not, Jesse and I usually meet at least 20-30 minutes before the coaching calls or the day before, and kind of discuss what topics we're going to talk about. And things are changing in this market, so it's always good to be up to date on anything that's new or relevant or helpful as far as our real estate career. And one of the things we wanted to talk about today is farming or marketing to a specific area or town that you want to focus on, and doing that as inexpensively as possible, free as much as possible. There's a lot of different ways to do that with today's technology that are very, very effective. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And Jesse, did you want to say anything before we get started?
Other than I've spent a lot of money on mailing stuff in the mail. I think the most I spent in a year was about $20,000 on direct mail to a farm. And it's nice that there's a lot of new ways to do it that don't cost as much. So that's what we want to talk about today. This was like years ago. I spent a lot of money. So there's great ways you can still market today that don't cost a lot of money.
And don't get us wrong, there's a lot of agents, and I've done it myself as far as marketing by mail. You have to be very, very consistent with it. And when I say consistent, you're going to have to send something out once a month, and your return rate on that is, it's like 1% to 2%. So does it work? Yes. Is it the smartest way to do it? No. I know for a fact it isn't. But you can add that to the menu of different things that you can do to market or farm to an area. So we're not going to really, there is that option. You can do that, but we're going to talk about other things. So the number one thing that I would do, and this is for anybody that has already purchased or is using Mojo, and as I said, to me, Mojo is probably the best avenue, the best program or website, whatever you want to call it, dialer that you can get for the money. For like $125 or less, you're going to be able to get every single phone number in the entire area that you need. Phone number, owner, name, and address. And it gives you the ability to call those people using a 1, 2, or 3 line dialer. So that's one of the advantages of having Mojo. Now, I haven't looked into it completely. This is kind of off the topic a little bit, but you can also get for sale by owner, expired, and canceled through Mojo very cheaply. I haven't used those. If anybody does, I think it's like $50 a month for expireds. Let me know, because I'd love to compare that to the data that I use with the really high dollar one that I pay for. So if you want to start marketing to a specific geographic area and you have Mojo, it's real simple. You go into the Mojo, what's it called? They have a service in there. It's like $10. I forget. I can't remember what it's called. But you go in there. It's like $10 a month, and you can download. You can do a rubber band search, or you can search by address. It'll give you all the names, phone numbers, and addresses of all those people in that area. The disadvantage is you can't export that information out, because it's a lead store is what it's called. It's their information, and they only want you to use it through Mojo. So, but you can keep it in there, and you could call those lists all day long, and you could just use that to reference and track everything, because you can put it in the calendar and do follow-ups and all that kind of stuff. So that would be a good way to get their phone numbers, and you can use a just listed, just sold script. What I would do is well, first of all, let's back up. Jesse, we talked about this. The first thing you want to do is find an area that has a lot of turnover as far as sales. So you want to look for a neighborhood where there's enough sales that it's going to be worth your time. I would look for an area that has at least a couple of hundred sales a year. So it has to be, 1,000 or 2,000 homes, however big that area or neighborhood has to be, there has to be enough sales for you to be able to justify it.
Right.
Then you can, the first thing you can do is use Mojo, get the phone numbers, and you'd want to find preferably an EXP agent in the area that has done a deal there, or whatever, or you want to be able, if you're going to do a just listed, just sold, and you want to call around and say, hey, this property just sold, we through EXP sold the property. We have the call scripts in there that you can do that. So that's a great way to do just listed, just sold calls. You also can call around and just introduce yourself. I know there's a lot of scripts out there that you could just pull from the internet. You could offer them something like, say, hey, this is Steve with EXP Realty. I work in the neighborhood. I saw a lot of homes around here, and I was just calling to let you know about an offer that we're doing right now. We're offering to have our landscapers come out and mow your lawn once during the summer, or pick up the leaves once during the summer. Something really, really different that they're going to remember, and just say, I'm just offering this as a free service. There's no obligation. I just want to get to know the neighbors and, see if we can help you if you ever have any real estate needs or know anybody buying or selling in the future. Whatever. There's a million different ways to do it. Jesse, why don't you talk about number 2, some ways that you could do some free advertising online to these areas specifically?
Yeah. And before I do that, I just want to share the power of in my area, there's agents that have all they've done is focus on a specific neighborhood, and they've done for the last 20 years, $200,000 a year from the same neighborhood every single year. So this is one little strategy. You could have 5 different things that we've talked about for generating leads. This could be one little thing that you do that you spend a couple hours a month doing that generates you 5, 10, 15 properties a year. So this is why focusing on an area is so important. You become you become a known person there. So you want to take the same idea and bring that online. So how could you do that? Well, you could, so in typical farming, you'll send out a bunch of mailers with market updates, right? You're letting people know, hey, you send 3 postcards out. This just sold, this just listed. Here's a market update. Rates are up, rates are down, blah, blah, blah. You want to take the same concept and go online, and you can do the same for free. So I live in Alameda, California. Okay. It's an island, 5 miles by 7 miles or something like that. And if I want to be a part of these people, this community, and I want to get business from them, I need to come on here and add value to them. So you can go to Facebook. Can everybody see my screen before I start talking?
Yes.
Okay. You can type in your city. So I just typed in Alameda, California. I hit search. It gives me all these options to filter on the left-hand side. I can look for posts. And so what it's going to do is Facebook's going to show me relevant content from Facebook that's relevant to Alameda, California. So if I click posts, it's going to show me posts where people have tagged the city, California. That might be good because you might find an influencer there. I can look for people, maybe who's the dominant person that dominates the conversation there. But particularly what we want to look for is that we want to go down to here where it says groups. Okay. So I click on groups, and it shows me Facebook groups where there are people making groups about Alameda, California. So the first one at the top is, you're from Alameda, California. Now, who do you think's in that group? People that were born, raised here, maybe they live here. They would understand these kind of maybe local attractions here. So I can join this group, and I can start participating as a member and add value. Hey, I love that picture. Oh, that's one of my favorite restaurants. Oh, I love, that's where I get my haircut too, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here's another one. The beauty of Alameda, California. Okay. So I can join these groups, and I can go in here and start participating as a member and contribute value. Let's see here. People that went to high school here, right? So if you do this for your city, what else could you do that would not be spammy, because you don't want to be spammy, but would provide relevant information to everybody that's in your city? Well, we talked about Loom the other day, right? You can open up loom.com, okay? And then you can record your screen, either doing like a PowerPoint or just literally going through like the MLS, showing people what is going on in the market. You could provide your own market update to everybody, and you can either post it in these groups, or you could use a hashtag and a location tag to say, hey, I want to hashtag Alameda, California. And so then Facebook knows it's sorted. If someone was to go search over here, they would know, hey, that tag is from that city. So now you're posting a market update. You can upload that video to Facebook, and you're basically providing a market update to everybody in the city, everybody that lives in that or is participating in that group, everybody that's searching Alameda for things. And now you're providing relevant information, but you're not being spammy. And I think that's an important note. It's completely free. You don't have to go knock on any doors. And you can keep doing this after shelter in place is gone. You can continue adding value.
Jesse, I have a quick question for you there. Can you hear me?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. So if you did a market update, like a video of your screen showing, how many sales have happened in the last 30 days, what's going on in the real estate market, do you post it to that site or that group, or how do you do that?
Yeah. So I would post it to that.
Do they allow
that group.
you to?
Remember, every group has different rules. So I would just make sure, usually they're saying no self-promotion. So a lot of groups say no self-promotion. So if you're just saying, hey, I'm not promoting myself, I just want to let you guys know what's going on in the community, and you're not making it about you, right? You're making it about the community. And again, that's the mindset you need to be on anytime you're on social media, I think, is I'm here to help. I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to share something and add value.
Yeah, and another thing that we talked about, Jesse, that would be really cool is go to those groups and find out who the organizers are. How do you do that, first of all?
Okay, so let me
go to that, okay.
I got to go to a group I'm
already a member of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here, I'll just go to our group. How about that? Right?
Okay.
If you guys are not part of this group, there's a little promo. Come join the group, please. We got 70 people in here. We're gonna keep on putting videos in here and sharing some stuff. But so if I go here to members, let's see here. If I go here to members, it will tell me how many members there are. It'll tell me who the admin and moderators are. Okay. Now I know, hey, this person has influence and has control over 70 people, right? And maybe in your city, it might be 5,000, it might be 10,000 people. So now if you form a relationship and you add value and do something to help these people, maybe you're like, hey, is there anything you need? Just ask them. Is there anything you need right now?
And another thing you could do is like Kyle Whistle is in EXP, by the way. He's out in Southern California. He wins all these awards for being like the #1 guy in social media on the internet for real estate agents, whatever. But what he does that I'm going to start doing as well is within these groups, you could find the people that are the admins or organizers, moderators, and usually they're a business person or they're somebody in the community. You could interview them and ask about their business. So like if it's, John Smith that owns the local restaurant, you could do a Zoom interview with him and he could talk about his restaurant. Like, how long you've been in business, what kind of food do you guys serve? What are you guys doing during COVID? Are you doing, deliveries? And they'll post it because they're the admin in the group. And it's free advertising for them and it's free advertising for you. So I know what Kyle Whistle does. He goes around and interviews people all throughout the community and then posts it on his Facebook page. But until you get a group of your own or a page of your own that has a lot of traction, you can go to these community groups and do stuff like that.
Yeah. And so on that point, if there is there's not a lot of groups, you can start your own. Kyle Whistle did that. He started one and he goes to restaurants and interviews them. And it's a whole little ecosystem. Everybody loves to find out hey, what's the story of that business owner? What's the story of the guy that started the hot dog stand? It's like,
but if you're doing that, what's important to note, Jesse, that when you're doing that, as far as what type of group you start, that you don't want to start
a real estate group.
Right.
Don't start real estate group for Chicago. No, because no one's going to come and want to be part of the real estate agents group that wants to sell to everybody. Make it about the community.
Like the best restaurants in Alameda, California group.
Bam.
The top, I saw one like, the favorite restaurants of police officers in, Alameda, California, because everybody knows, police officers always know good restaurants.
Things to do in city. There you go.
Make it generic, that, something that's going to interest people in the community that you're trying to market to.
Yep. So that's free, you guys. You don't need to spend a lot of time doing this. You could, again, an interview can be 10 minutes long. Hey, how did you get started? What brought you to this city? What do you love about this city? What are your favorite things to do here in this city? It's all about this, the community. Oh, great. And then, like I said, they're probably going to give you a plug at the end as well. But don't spend a lot of time on this. Just go in here and add value, comment. Hey, I like that photo. Hey, looks great. Share something that's useful to people. So when I say add value, always think, what is useful to people? That's kind of the mindset to be in.
So we talked about, getting the call list, getting phone numbers, getting their address, getting the person's name that lives there. You can do that on Mojo. You can call them. You can do Facebook groups. You can get into Facebook groups that already exist. You can start your own Facebook group. Now, one of the cool things with EXP is we have KV Core. So what KV Core will allow you to do is you can I think you could start a group or a page in Facebook, which I have one of those for Plainfield, and then you can drive traffic to your landing page in KV Core to capture leads. I'm not going to go all into that right now. There's a lot of information, in the groups within EXP to learn how to do that. We are going to send out a video recording today of some really big time agents that are just utilizing KV Core and how they're doing it. And a lot of it has to do with these generic Facebook groups that they've created. They've created a ton of them, and they just generate leads through KV Core using those groups with just really cheap, $20 posts or boosts is what it's called. So we're going to send that video out. I would suggest watching that if you really want to get into KV Core and utilizing that to market to a certain demographic or group or area.
Yeah.
So use KV Core and learn that.
One more idea. So I mentioned earlier, there's agents that I've known that's all they do is farming, and it doesn't have to be expensive. They will literally go to their home printer and print out a black and white on a white piece of paper, nothing fancy, not color. Like, I know the agent that does it. He's like cheap as could be, but he does like 20 deals a year. He makes a couple $100,000, and he prints out a market update. He types it out on Word document. Here, this many properties sold, blah, blah, blah. And he lists out all the addresses that sold for how much. He walks the neighborhood with those flyers, with those papers. So you can do this after your shelter in place is up, unless they let you walk and drop papers now. He walks the neighborhood. A, he's getting to meet neighbors while he's doing it. B, it's low cost. C, he gets some exercise. And then he's adding value. He knows, everybody knows that's the guy that walks the neighborhood and tells us about what's going on in the neighborhood, and with real estate. And he gets, every month he does a transaction from that neighborhood. So that's almost free, right? The cost.
What's this RPR you got up here, Jesse?
So NAR RPR. So does that make sense? Something simple. You guys don't, again, we're trying to think of stuff that's simple, low cost, efficient.
You cannot put it in their mailbox. You cannot put flyers in their mailbox. That's illegal. But
no, just leave it on the doorstep.
You can mail it.
Yeah, you can mail it or leave it on the doorstep. So NAR RPR. It's the Realtor's Property Resource. This is a nationwide database of 160 million homes. So if you need to search the MLS on anywhere in the United States, use this site. It comes with your membership as a real estate agent. So
as a membership of National Association of Realtors.
Yes, NAR, yes. So you pay whatever, your $500 a year. Or
We're already paying that, yes.
Yeah, so you're paying that to be a real estate agent. It comes with this. This is essentially the MLS for the whole United States. So you can go on here and you can do those things that we talked about, such as finding out what's the turnover rate. You can look for distressed properties. You can set alerts for distressed properties. Like I did a search right here for the last 12 months in my little area, how many homes sold. You can use this. You can look at title documents on here, recording documents are on here, a lot of stuff on here. They have a whole guide, and I'll share that, which is
And how to farm and market to
how to farm using this whole tool. Okay. So I don't know if
guys, another resource that we have that's similar to this, and I haven't dove into it completely, but in our area we have Remine, REMINE, which is part of the MLS now. It's the site that we use for our tax information now. And there's ways to create lists in there of a demographic or geographic area to mail to and so forth.
Sorry, say that again. What was it? R-E what?
Remine, REMINE.
M-I-N-E, okay.
It's a national thing as well. You can probably pay for it outside of our MLS. I don't know all the specifics. I just know the information is in there, and it's pretty much free for us.
So if you were to do one, you guys can just take one of these ideas we just shared. You don't have to do all of them, but if you do one, you can get started on that, and you could do this forever anyways, because if you're going to be in real estate, it's good to kind of own a neighborhood or have a percentage of the market share in a neighborhood. Social media is not going away anytime soon from what I can tell. So I would definitely get involved in some local communities online where there's thousands of people that you can have exposure to that are probably not in your COI right now.
Yeah. And if you're in this for the long haul, and I say long haul, the next 2 to 5 years at least, and you know you're going to be living in the same area and the same property for the next 5 years, and you want to market or farm an area around you, go ahead and go to start doing some mailers, some inexpensive ones. I think if you go to the post office, Jesse, why don't you tell them a couple of resources to be able to do very inexpensive mailers? So
if you do want to do mailers, the most affordable way from my experience is to go through CoreLogic, which is they basically will print them, ship them, do everything if you want. And they can go through what's called EDD, every door direct mail. Sorry.
Right.
Every door direct mail is the cheapest way to send mail to a community, and it's through the post office. And essentially, it's the postman that's dropping it, or the post person, sorry, that's dropping it in the mailbox when they're doing their walks. And so it's the cheapest way to send. It's not FedEx or Mass, anything like that. It's just dropping your postcard in everybody's mailbox in the neighborhood. That is the cheapest way. So go through CoreLogic, okay? And you can make flyers and templates. They have postcards. Doesn't take much thinking at all. And they'll even print the market updates. They'll print the properties that sold. You don't got to do nothing except for pay for it. Pushcar did also say, yeah, RPR does have a mobile app. So you can do like walking the farm, and you can use their app to kind of keep track of people and put notes on the properties in the app.
I didn't know that.
So RPR, yeah, I put a link to this ebook, you guys, in the chat. So if you want to download it, I would go download it. It tells you how to do this whole process, how to look at market activity. And again, this is nationwide. So.
And guys, we're trying to focus on stuff that you can do today. Obviously, if you start, once things open up and everybody's, the fear starts to dissipate and normal open houses start again, one of the best ways to do this is do open houses in the neighborhoods and put out as many signs as humanly possible. Get one of those flags for, I don't know, I paid like 60 or $100 for a little flag, and start doing as many open houses in those areas as you can.
So how would you do as many as possible, Steve?
Well, I would probably look for somebody that's an if I don't have a listing in that area already, I would look for an EXP agent that would allow me to do an open house in that area. I mean, you could even, you could even look for other agencies and ask them if they'll let you. Some will let you do it, but it's usually going to have to be somebody with your, EXP, and, use their property. If you live in the neighborhood, you could always just do an open house on your house, and take the highest, see if somebody's willing to offer you, $50,000 cash more than it's worth, and, make you move. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. You just want to get your name and logo and everything out there in the neighborhood as much as possible.
Yep.
Meet the neighbors.
What I was taught is listings beget listings. Every listing, and Steve tells a story about this in the book, is that one listing turned into like 4 or 5 deals. Just one listing, because of the neighborhood, knocking on doors, leaving a flyer, doing an open house. Listings beget more listings. So holding an open house can turn into more deals. It could turn into another buyer deal, could turn into an offer for that property, and you could get another listing in the area. So very, very, very useful and worthwhile.
Lee Ernst in our with EXP, I was with him at Remax too. He has one of those big magnets on his car that has his face and name on there.
Yeah.
And he just parks it out in front of his house. It's just the reticular activating system. People are gonna see it over and over again, and they're gonna be like, oh, that's, at some point somebody's gonna say, I need to sell my house, and who should I call? The guy that lives in the neighborhood that I always see doing open houses, driving around with the magnet on his car. I see him on Facebook. Eventually people are gonna know who you are, and you will be the one that they call or think about when they have something to buy or sell as far as real estate.
Just I have the magnet, but no pick. I don't want to scare people away. I don't want to track them.
I wouldn't worry about that.
You can go to supercheapsigns.com. You can get a giant magnet for like $50. 2 of them, put them on your car. I've done that when I'm holding open houses and stuff. So I'm curious, anything resonating with anybody particular that we talked about? Anything that jumps out at anybody that they want to try or
questions
about? We don't want you to be overwhelmed. We just want to pick one thing.
Well, that's exactly how I feel with all this. It's a little bit overwhelming. And I have, I'll admit it. I only started on Facebook not even a year ago. I just never found the need for it. It was on LinkedIn, but I signed up for this thing called Keeping Current Matters. And I literally did it on Monday of this week. I've already gotten 6 or 7 hits from it,
What do you mean by that?
People calling in and saying, yes, I would like to know why mortgage rates are lower. I would like to know more about, how would I go about selling my house during a COVID-19 environment? Frankly, I don't know either, But,
so you bought Keeping Current Matters, and how did you market that, or how did you get these people to call you from that?
I did it through Facebook, and I did it through LinkedIn.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I see where it's working. And I agree with you. I have tried, I have one more comment after this. I have tried the mailings. I've done 3 already since I've been at XP. I've been here maybe 4 months, and I've gotten nothing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things was, and Steve, you know the area probably best in Chicagoland or where I live. There's just 2 rock star agents in my town. So what I do every day is I go through the FSBOs, not through Mojo, but through like literally Zillow. So Zillow will actually give the name and the number sometimes of the homeowner, for goodness sake. It's crazy. But I'll call them, and I just, I had one today that, the guy says, yeah, I'm having a hell of a time trying to sell my house. What can you do to help me? So I go through my calls during the day. So that's part 2 of it. But the bottom line is, I don't know if my town is ready for that, that 3rd realtor.
For that local expert that's lived there for most of their life.
They are. You're not going to want to hear this, but I've got a couple of people I talked to at length. just other areas, Plainfield, Naperville, of all places I didn't think it would happen, Hinsdale, where they do want to talk on the phone and get information. It's been outside of my area here. And frankly, I don't like the two realtors in town. I think everything you mentioned not to do, they're doing. They're putting their information in mailboxes, stuff like that. They bad rap other agents around, and I know it for a fact because I visit a lot of the, not restaurants so much, but just vendors in the area. And I don't want to be like that. I want to be the guy they can trust. So,
Jim, can I share one thing about that?
Yeah.
Drill down deeper. So, I mean, we talked about at a city level, but you can drill down deeper to a specific neighborhood. Like you see this thing right here where you can draw, like in RPR, you can do this, like just like Zillow, right? You can draw a polygon shape on an area and find out if they're not selling in a particular neighborhood and there's a lot of sales in that area. I would start there, then you don't got to worry about those guys regardless if they're mailing everybody or not, because they're not selling anything on the neighborhood. So you can dominate a specific, neighborhood or community.
What about subdivisions?
Yeah, a subdivision.
Yeah. That was the next trick I was going to try is just go after specific subdivisions in the area.
And Jim, I get where you're coming from, and I know the agents you're talking about, and I know for a fact that one of them, I talk to a lot of expired listings and so forth. They don't like them because they don't give good customer service. So what's different about you? Your customer service is hands-on. That's what's different about you. You're going to give them face-to-face, direct customer service. You're going to be available when they need you. And, you've surrounded yourself with a group of experts that understand what's going on in the market, not just locally, but nationally. And you have the tools to be able to help them, the modern technology to be able to help them get their home sold. So just keep doing what you're doing and getting your name out there, get your face out there. Don't get too discouraged. This is probably going to go down as one of the hardest times ever to get into the real estate business as a newer agent, because from the outside looking in, it looks like there's nothing happening because nobody wants to list their property, but that's not the truth, and it will change. And the more groundwork you do right now, the better payoff you're going to have here 1, 2, 3, 4 months down the road. There's no question about it.
Yeah. On that note, like right now people are cutting back. So this is a time you have an opportunity to shine a little bit more. Like if you're sticking your head out a little bit more than everybody else, cause they're like, what do I do? That could be the one opportunity that you need, right? They say more millionaires are made in downturns because of that. There's so many people pulling back. The person that's like, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to just risk it all. I'm going to put myself on the line. And that's where you might form that right connection with that investor that wants to buy 10 houses, right?
Jim, I got an idea for you too. I was just thinking, so you've got a beautiful townhouse that you guys bought last year, and I appreciate you guys using me to help buy that townhouse. What you could do is look at one of these 3D services that we have through EXP, or some of the stuff we've talked about. I know there's one that just came up that Pushcar is looking into for us over our WhatsApp chat. That's like very inexpensive. Do a virtual tour of your property, and don't say anything about this is my house, I want to do a virtual tour. Go look at this beautiful property in your, whatever your neighborhood's called. I think it's Woodglen or something like that. Look at this beautiful property listed here in Woodglen for whatever. Make it up. Don't be very ambiguous about the address or whatever. Use that then to post at a bunch of places, on different Facebook sites and whatever, that, just showing what you're able to do with the technology in a virtual tour.
Yeah,
that's what I would do, because you got a beautiful property to be able to do that, and nobody's going to know that it's yours and it's not really for sale.
And I heard, I don't want to take up anybody else's time here, but I'm addicted to this KV Core thing. I don't feel like I feel like I'm screwing it up right now, just because I'm not, some of the stuff that's letter being sent out is not what I want to send out. So I got to fix that, and I will. But I like this idea of tying KV Core to a social media platform, and I'm getting better at it. But it's starting to build. I'm not I'm not discouraged. I just want to make this thing happen already, and I've taken the time and effort, as everybody has on the phone, to really sink into my database, find out, if the names are real, if the contacts information is real, if they're a bunch of clowns, if they're wasting my time. And I whittled some down. I'd rather have that than people that aren't going to do anything, so.
I don't know if I have sent you, Jim, specifically this video that we're going to send out today or not. It's a KV Core video with some.
Pushcart just sent something out like that.
Yeah, it's some superstar agents using KV Core to sell hundreds of homes, and they are using a similar marketing strategy that we were just talking about. I haven't done it. I don't know none of us on this call have used it or done this, but these people have, and other people have, to be able to get a ton of leads, and they're doing hundreds of deals. So watch that, take some tips from there, and let me know how it works, because I don't have the time to do it, but I wish I did, because I would be using KV Core a lot more. I'd be using it a lot more than I am.
There's a couple stuff out on YouTube also. I was just playing around on a search for KV Core training on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. It's some of it's lengthy though. It's an hour and a half to sit down and listen to the guy go through it, but that might be helpful too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you go to there's a Facebook page group, a KV Core group. There's one other note, guys. If you're not using or utilizing Workplace through EXP, everything and anything we're talking about, hands-on, it's in there. There's agents in there that make me look like I'm, I just got my license. There's agents in there doing 500 deals a year in Workplace. So all the training with KV Core and how to do this, all the social marketing training, everything is in Workplace and through EXP. We're just trying to drill it down and save you the time and give you the stuff that we know for sure works and access. So that video that we're sending out via email today is probably on the top 10 list of watch it, implement it, you're going to get deals.
Will do.
All right, rock stars, are you all good or any more questions? Daddy's got to make his Maserati payment, so I got to get busy.
Good Lord.
But if you guys have any questions, now's the time. We got another 4 minutes, or else we're shutting down.
How do you, okay, real quick, sorry. How do you,
go ahead.
How do you address something where you're talking with somebody and they are actually a little bit skittish about this market, and you're saying, is it more of an empathy right now? Because I had a conversation with a guy the other day, more of an empathy, like, look, I understand, you might get furloughed, you might not, you're skittish about it, but there's real estate being transacted every day right now. And it's truly what you, the person, feels comfortable with from that perspective.
Let's role play that real quick. Jesse?
Is that how you address that?
Yeah, let's role play that real quick. Ring, ring.
Yeah, hello?
Hi, Jesse. This is Steve Merritt with eXp Realty. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
Great. I just wanted to give you a quick call, and I noticed that you were, expired listing, that you were looking online for homes, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I was wondering if I could help you with any of your real estate needs. Are you looking to buy or sell are you looking to sell your property now?
Well, I mean, yeah, to be honest, it's interesting you asked. We would love to, but this whole pandemic thing and, shelter in place, obviously we can't right now.
This whole pandemic thing, I can really appreciate that, Jesse. With all these things happening in the market, I totally understand where you're coming from. Let me ask you this. If you did sell this home, where would you move to next, and how soon do you have to be there?
Well, I'll be honest. We love Florida. Our family's there. The kids want to, the grandparents want to see the kids. But I mean, obviously, people can't come see our house right now, right? I mean, we're on lockdown.
Oh man, would I love to be in Florida right now? That is awesome. So you got family down in Florida, and you guys are planning to move down to Florida.
But yeah, that's the goal.
Well, that's a great goal. And if Jesse, if you knew for sure that you could get the price that you wanted in the next 30 to 45 days, would you put your home on the market?
Well, I mean, yeah, if we could. I mean,
if you could. Okay, well, great.
Big if, right?
How about this? Would you see any disadvantage of having a quick virtual chat with me on a Zoom call for 15 minutes so we can find out exactly how much your property would sell for, how long it would take, and exactly what we would do in this crazy market condition to get the property sold? Would you have 15 minutes for that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you can do it virtual, that's great. You don't have to come over here. That's cool. I'm cool with that.
Say no. Say no. I don't really think that's a great idea.
Well, I don't really know about that and meeting you.
Jesse, I could appreciate that. And again, this is going to be a virtual Zoom call. So you and I aren't going to have to breathe on each other or anything like that. And here's the great thing. If you're still unsure after that 10 to 15 minute consultation of free market information on exactly how much and how quickly and how I'm going to sell your home, you can always say no.
Okay.
All right, cool. What would be the best time for you? 4 o'clock today or 6 o'clock?
I'm home all day right now. So
me too.
4 o'clock works.
4 o'clock. Perfect. Jesse, what's the best email address so I can send you the Zoom link information?
Boomdynamite at yahoo.com.
Bam. All right. So that's a script. And it's not what I'm saying. The point of that is, Rob, is you want to use a script, because in any script or any situation, a sales situation, you are going to want to repeat and affirm what they say, acknowledge, repeat and affirm. So he says, well, I'm moving to Florida. Moving to Florida, that's great. That's exciting. I'd love to move to Florida. So you've got family in Florida and you want to move there. Perfect. Then you go to the next question in the script, which in this situation, your ultimate goal in these scripts is to get an appointment with them. And because the objection is going to be, we can't meet, I completely understand that. What we're doing now is we're meeting over the computer as a Zoom call. So you just want to get them to an appointment. What that does is you set that appointment, you move on to your next prospect. But when you set that appointment for 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you then have time to go research and do all that stuff, before the appointment to see if you even want to keep the appointment. Okay. It may be that, the guy's selling a house that is unsellable or whatever it is, but it'll give you time to prepare for the appointment. And then when you get to that appointment and you're struggling on what to do there, let me know. I'll help you out with that.
So what I took away from that is a lot of times I think we try to handle all the objections on the phone when the real goal is get an appointment, get some time where you can present to them and talk to them. So that was the takeaway I just got from that. Don't worry about it.
Because at the end of the day, if they're not motivated to sell, this is not the right market for them.
Yeah.
And if you ask them, where were you moving to? I don't know. I just wanted to, throw my home up on the market and see if I could get, this crazy price for it. Move on to the next one. That's not who you're looking for. You're looking for motivation. Somebody that's moving, wants to move to Florida. And then when you get them on the Zoom call, you can show them, hey, 30 homes have sold in the last 2 weeks in your market. And the sale prices are pretty similar to what they were selling for 60 days ago. So what we're seeing is the market is actually very healthy right now. I don't know if you watch the news. I try to avoid it, but I don't know if you watch the news. Nobody knows what's going to happen 30 to 60 days from now. So if I was selling a house and I wanted to get all as much equity out of the property as possible, I'd put the damn thing in the market now, as opposed to rolling the dice and possibly losing 5, 10, 25% 6 months from now, because that could happen.
And are you familiar with the 3 ways that we actually show properties virtually? Let me tell you about it.
Boom. Boom, right there, baby. Appointment. All right, that's how you do it.
What are those 3 ways?
We talked about those on the call last week. So you can do it Loom showing, loom.com with the photos. You can do a live Facebook walkthrough.
Right.
You can do a Zoom call where you schedule everybody come and to your Zoom, register for your Zoom meeting, and you show it that way. You can record your own walkthrough, just walk through the property and then upload that to YouTube. So there's 4 ways you could show the property.
If they want to just let their property be shown in a normal fashion, which one of my listings does,
Yeah.
you know, rubber gloves and a face mask or whatever, you know, there's disclosures that we have and disclaimers that we can put on the listing to say, hey, you know, upon entering the property, please do not touch any of the closet doors. All the lights and closets are going to be open. Do not touch anything as you walk through the house. Wear a pair of the rubber gloves that we provide, wear the foot covers, and wear a mask. If they're that worried about it, that's what they should do. If it's all about motivation. If I have to get my house sold right now, there's a million ways that we can get that done for you.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse. I did remember that one. The Loom thing is, to me right now, it's kind of loom and gloom. I'm not hip to that at all right now. So
Cool. Okay. Facebook Live is my preference because it's easily shareable, really fast. It's very engaging. It's very authentic. It's raw. It's real.
I belong to the face group called Luddites. That's what I belong to. So anyway, that's someone who doesn't understand technology. So good. That's good stuff.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very much. Did that answer your question, Robert?
Yeah. So, you know, a little bit more beyond the news with COVID is being here in Texas, the oil industry is just going crazy. So, you know, the guy was, you know, he was wanting to buy some investment properties and he's retired. He's got money. He's no house payment, no cars. You know, what do you think about the rental, you know, property business in San Antonio in regards to COVID-19 and now the oil business? And I said, hey, look, you know, I understand. I feel, you know, I was empathetic. You know, I feel it. I feel your pain. But however, when this COVID-19 breaks, you know, and the military is able to move, we're Military City, USA, and we're Cyber City, USA. And guess what? You know, it's hard to hold an open rental home in this area. For an example, I showed a home to a couple right before COVID-19. 2 days later, they were wanting to put a rental agreement in. That house was already taken. So you have a very good propensity in this area with the movement of the military, the movement of cyber, to not have very many open rental homes. So it's a great opportunity for you to invest in a rental home if the pricing is right, you know, and you've got to determine that pricing.
How much money does he have?
He didn't elaborate on that. We didn't.
Does he want to buy houses or apartments?
Both. He's looking at residential and commercial. He's got great credit, great credit scores, and he's looking to get with a loan officer. I told him I've got some loan officers here in town that I can, you know, hook him up with if he needs to do that. He said, no, I've got some contacts there. I said, well, if you need me to, why not shop the market? Why only go with 1 or 2 and I can give you 2 more and you've got 4, and that way you get better rates and that opportunity can present itself even more for you. So we're going to talk again next week. He's going to go out and do a little bit more homework on his financials and go from there. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, on top of COVID now and on top of the oil industry, Texas is just.
I would just leave it at this. It's everybody always need, you know, people need a place to live, and if he's gonna invest in investment properties, I would stick with not with commercial retail at all. I would stay way away from that. I would just focus on multifamily properties. And there's going to be deals over the next, 1 to 6 months. I think you're going to see some very good deals out there because there's going to be a lot of fear. And there's a million different reasons why some of these multifamily properties are going to come up on the market. A lot of investors were buying, without even caring what the return was, and now they're going to be stuck. So let's talk further on that, Rob, after the call at some point, okay?
Okay, great.
All right, guys, we got to end this. I appreciate it. We'll talk on Friday. If anybody needs anything, email, text, call me, whatever.
Yeah, I need help on some rental stuff in Joliet too. So
Okay.
we got a weirdo customer.
Let's, do you need to talk about that today, or can we talk about it Friday when we have
That's fine. That's fine.
It's not a rush. Yeah,
I think it's tomorrow. Friday we're talking. You're right. Yeah.
yeah.
No rush.
Okay, sounds good. We'll talk soon, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jesse.
Cheers, guys.